Hey girlies, hey gays, hey days, and welcome back to Live, Laugh, Love, Lesbian, a podcast for the girls who like girls, for the gays, for the queers, for anybody who is a little bit gay. I am so excited to be back chatting with you all today. Feels like I've been off forever, but it's literally only been like a week. Yeah, it's only been a week because I was away in Mallorca. So, has it just been a week? It feels like longer, but I think it has just been a week. But it's felt like forever. I've missed you guys. Have you missed me? Because I've genuinely missed chatting with you all, been reading through some of the dilemmas that you guys have sent in, and this is going to be a good episode. I just feel it. So let's have a little catch up first, because I have so much for you guys in on. Obviously, in the last episode, which was filmed 2 weeks ago, it really feels like it was longer than 2 weeks ago, but I don't think it was. So 2 weeks ago I told you me and Taylor were going up to Edinburgh Fringe to watch Ashley Gavin, and we did, and it was interesting. So we got the train up. I'm going to give you context now so it makes sense when we come to it. So we were going on holiday the next day, and anyone who knows me knows I'm very pale and I do not tan on holiday. So I decided I'm going to get a spray tan before I go on holiday. So I get my spray tan, and then about an hour later we need to be on the train. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to just wear some like baggy-ish clothes that I don't mind getting tan on. So I wore some like black, they're not quite leggings and they're not quite like flare trousers, they're kind of like in between. And I wore this top that says I just look straight, because I thought it's funny, we're going to an Ashley Gavin show, which is obviously like, it's going to be full of gays, and I don't look very gay, so I thought I'll wear that because it'll be funny. And I put a denim jacket on, put Taylor's denim jacket on top, because it was quite baggy, so I didn't think it would rub tan off, and I don't think it did, thank God, because Taylor would have been mad. So anyway, context, I have a spray tan on. So we get the train up, and we have quite a bit of time before Ashley's show. Ashley's show wasn't until like 6:50, I don't think. So we walked to like the space where Ashley's show is. It's chucking it down with rain, so I'm panicking about my spray tan. Had to go and buy. The first shop we went into was H&M. They did not sell umbrellas, so I had to buy a scarf and like wrap myself in the scarf. Then we went to this sort of like Edinburgh shop, and I bought a tartan umbrella that broke like 2 seconds after I put it up. So that was a real waste of money. So anyway, we get to sort of the venue where it is, and we do some wandering, and this we want to go see a show. So people are like flyering, they're giving us flyers, and then we see the show and we think, right, it's on in like 10 minutes time, we want to get out of the rain, let's just go and see it. What was it called? I don't remember. Oh, it was How Can I Help You, or Can I Help You, or Pleased to Meet You. I think it was How Can I Help You. Where did Pleased to Meet You come from? I think it was called How Can I Help You, and it was basically all about being a people pleaser, and I thought that'll be really funny because I'm definitely a people pleaser. Anyway, we go into this show, and I thought maybe it's going to be like, like a comedy show. It was interesting. So he was like playing the guitar, and he just kept breaking out into like song, and then he would just stop singing, but he would keep strumming the guitar and was just talking like over the guitar strumming. And basically it wasn't really about being a people pleaser, it was more about like his love life, and he was just telling us like, oh, then I met this girl, and then this happened, and then I met this girl, and this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And it was just not about being a people pleaser at all. But it was funny. It started off funny, and then the middle was it was boring. Sorry if you're listening to this. And then the end, it got funny and good again. And me and Taylor were kind of like, what just happened? So anyway, we got some food, and then we went into Ashley's show. So we were in the queue, and we were, well, to be fair, we had planned to try and get in the queue quite early, because we thought, the sooner we get in there, the better seats we'll get. However, what were we doing? We were doing something, so that means we didn't get in the queue we went and got hot chocolates, and I went to put my phone on charge in the space where you could get drinks from, because my phone was low on charge. So we didn't get in Ashley's queue too soon. We probably got in about only maybe like 15-20 minutes before the show started. So where we got on the queue, they then basically split the queue in half, and we were like the start of the second half. So they went, you guys are going to come queue over here with us. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to have the worst seats in the world. However, when they started taking us all in, they basically like filtered everyone through. So the people who were right at the front ended up sitting like, is adjacent the right word? I don't know. They were sat like, so they could see like Ashley's like side, whereas we ended up like bang smack in the middle. I think there was 3 or 4 rows, and we were in the second row, bang smack in the middle, and there was no one sat in front of us because the chair that had been left out in the very front had Ashley's phone on that was set up on a tripod recording. So me and Taylor were sat behind the phone, so that, like, we had a great view because obviously a phone did not obstruct our view like people's heads could have. So we were there, and Ashley like came over and like was like fiddling with it, and she was like, you know, if I don't fit in the screen, like feel free to move it around. And I was like, I've got you, girl. Like we'll get the good angles. She was perfectly in view, so didn't have to touch our phone. And it was a funny show. She's very funny, and you know I'd followed her on TikTok for a long time, which is why I wanted to go see. Just some of the jokes were interesting. Some like things that I will not speak about on this podcast because a little bit too inappropriate. But if anyone else went to see the show at Edinburgh Fringe, there's one in particular that really stands out. And it was kind of one of them things where like you laugh because it's awkward, and me and Taylor just kept like making eye contact, and we were like, um, is this appropriate? It was very funny. She did make some funny jokes. I love when she like picks on people in the audience. There was one person there who like, and Ashley said like they just look like a lesbian, but they were there with their boyfriend, and Ashley was like, "But you just look like a lesbian," and it was so funny. And then people started like shouting things out. Someone clapped for her at one point. I think it's when she said that she came out as gay to her therapist. They clapped, and Ashley was like, oh, it was so funny. She literally was just like, "Why are you clapping?" And because she was crying, I think she was crying or she was getting emotional, and this person clapped, and she was like, "You totally like broke my flow." And then someone else shouted something out at one point. It was something about the therapist again, and she said, "Oh, I think she said she'd been getting like quite deep and dark thoughts." Um, Trigger warning. And then this person shouted like, "Get a refund." It was so funny, and she was just like, she seemed like, I think it was jokey, but she seemed like furious at the fact that people had like shouted out, and she kept like going back to them being like, oh, it was brilliant. And it was, it was quite emotional. She did say at the start, she was like, "You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, I've got tissues if you need them." And I was thinking, we're at a comedy show, I'm not gonna cry. But for reference, the title of the show was My Therapist is Dying. So the whole story was pretty much about like, it was kind of like a story but with comedy in there. Well, mainly comedy, but it followed like a vague storyline. So it was basically about like her life growing up, coming out, like some of her like relationships and things like that. But a lot, it all sort of linked back to the therapist. And then she got to the bit where she said that her therapist had told her he had, I can't remember how many it was, like X amount of months left to live. And then obviously he passed away. She didn't actually say that, but I think he did, because she said like she's moved to a new therapist and stuff now. And there was people in the audience crying. I had tears in my eyes, and I thought, I cannot cry. I have fake tan, like I have a spray tan on. I cannot ruin this tan. I go on holiday tomorrow. So I was really holding in the tears, but it was so emotional. So anyway, the show finished. It was like, overall, it was so funny. It was really good. I would go and watch her again, definitely. And she was like, "I'll be downstairs if anyone wants to like come and say hi." So basically, this queue like formed, and I said to her, I was like, we may as well get in. I was like, we've got like an hour before the train. I was like, it would be fun to get a picture. Maybe I'll tell her about the podcast. And it was funny. So obviously, we were sat right behind where she was filming. So I kept going on the camera before it started. I kept going, "Go listen to Live, Laugh, Love, Lesbian." And then I did it again at the end, and Taylor was like, "Shh, don't say that. That's so embarrassing." And I was like, it's not embarrassing. I'm promoting my podcast. So anyway, we get in the queue to meet Ashley, and we go up, and I think we just say like hi, and I was like, "Oh, could we get a photo, please?" And I'm like, "Well, actually, just me." I was like, "Taylor doesn't want a photo." I was like, "Nothing personal. She just doesn't like photos." And she was like, "Oh no, I get it. Don't worry." And then we did a picture, and then we said something about how we were dating, or did we? Or she said something like that we might have just been friends or something. And I like opened my jacket and was like, "Did you not read the t-shirt?" I was like, "It says I just look straight." And she was like, "Oh well, I didn't know, like maybe you were just best friends." She was like, "Everyone who comes to see my show is gay, I know that, but not everyone might be dating." And I was like, "Yeah, we do get confused for sisters or friends sometimes." And she was like, "Oh, I don't think you look like sisters." And she was like, "Unless you're just wearing a lot of bronzer," obviously referring to how tanned my tan was getting, because obviously it develops over the day, and then you wash it off in the evening or the next morning. And I was like, "Oh, I've been spray tan this morning." I said, "We're going on holiday tomorrow, So I've got a spray tan, and she's like, oh, my girlfriend likes to fake tan sometimes. Um, and when I tell you, I wish we filmed the interaction. I don't know if that's weird, but it was just so awkward. If Taylor was here right now, she would vouch for me. Like, it felt like we were really like, we were holding the conversation, and she was just kind of like saying like little things to, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just an awkward conversation. And we both walked away like, that was so weird. And she kind of, because we did, I feel like normally you talk, you get the photo, you leave, whereas we did the photo straight away because we weren't really planning on like chatting. I was just going to say, can we have a photo, listen to my podcast, bye. But because we did photo, we were then sort of like chatting, and then she was like, did we get a photo? And we were like, yeah. And she's like, all right, see you later then. So we were like, oh, okay, thanks, bye. And it was just really weird. And it reminded me of the saying, like, you know, people say like, never meet your heroes. I wouldn't say she's my hero at all, but if she was, I would have been so like disappointed with that interaction because it was just so odd. So it's made me decide like maybe I don't want to meet like Katie McCabe or anyone like that, because if the interaction like is anything like it was with Ashley, I'll just come away being like, that was horrific. So I'd rather just live with like the, you know, live with the unknown. But overall, it was a really good trip. The holiday was really good. There was so many lesbians in our resort. I'm not even being funny. There was so many lesbians. I mean, they could have maybe not been dating, they could have just been gay, but it was, you know, you just know. And there was quite a few girls like walking around the hotel holding hands, and me and Taylor were loving it. We also got so lucky. It wasn't an adults only resort, but we saw, I think, 3 kids the whole time we were there. 2 were a little bit older, and then one baby, well, not baby, like a toddler came for like the last 2 days, and it was a really well behaved toddler. So we got so lucky, and we were literally about a 2 minute walk from the sea. It was the sea. 2 minute walk from the sea, if that. We went on like a snorkeling day trip, which was so much fun. But we were the only English people in our hotel. And I know that for 2 reasons. One, because we did not hear anyone else speaking English apart from like the staff speaking English to us. And one, this is so embarrassing. There was an ABBA tribute show, and of course, I love ABBA, so I'm sitting front row singing along to all the songs. And then they go, we need some audience participation for the next one. So obviously, I'm like, hello, me. And they go, okay, come join us on stage. And I'm like, you don't have to ask me twice. I'm up there on stage. And they go, can you tell everyone your name and where you're from? And I go, I'm Juliet and I'm from England. Like, you know, trying to get the crowd going. Silence. Not even Taylor whooped for me. And I would think, say it was someone else, and they were like, oh, I'm Susan from England. I'd be like, whoa, go on, Susan. Like, I'd cheer for them because I'd be like, oh, you're English, I'm English, I'm going to cheer for you. Silence. So that's how it was confirmed that there was no other English people there. And it was so awkward and so embarrassing. And then I had to stand on stage, and it was, Chiquitita, tell me what's wrong. Like, I don't think you need audience participation for that. So basically, they sat me in a chair and sung to me. And then for the chorus, we stood up and held hands, and we just did like a little step kick, like literally step and kick and step and kick for the whole chorus. And I sat down again, and then we stood up and kicked again. And it was awful. Like, I wish they did like Dancing Queen, because I could have then just like had a proper boogie. But yeah, it was awkward. And that's how I knew there was no other English people, because none of them cheered for me. But anyway, that was a very long introduction, but because we've had a week off, I feel like it's only fair to catch you guys up with everything in my life. How's your lives going? Has anyone done anything exciting? Pop it on the Google form. If you have, let me know. I'll read it out next week. Hope you're all well. I missed you all dearly. And let's get straight on into this week's episode. Okay, guys, before we get on with the question of the week, Taylor's just got home, and I just told the pod about how awkward it was when we met Ashley Gavin, and she literally laughed at me. So I just wanted Taylor to confirm for you all that it was indeed really awkward, so you don't all just think that I'm a weirdo. I'm just going to pass her the mic because she's a quiet gal.
I can confirm that it was so awkward, I actually wanted to implode and just die.
It was awful, wasn't it? Like, because I was saying, like, we had to like hold the conversation, like, and then when I was like, oh yeah, I got a spray tan this morning, she was like, oh, my girlfriend likes fake tan, and I was just like, ha ha ha. And then I said, it was funny that she was like, did we get a photo yet? And we were like, yeah. And then she was like, all right, bye then. Oh, it was just awful. So, anyway, this week's question of the week was, what is your... Right, honey, we're not making
I didn't
noise.
mean to. I just had to push the drawer so I didn't trip over.
Let you off. Is, what is one of your favourite, like, queer song lyrics? For example, mine would probably be, I just want some recognition for having good tits and a big heart. Taylor's looking at me like, ew, why are you singing? I know I'm not the best singer, but you know what? I embrace it. So, not many of you guys have sent in answers. I don't think anyone put one on TikTok, but a few of you have sent them in on the Google form. So please answer the questions of the week, because it makes me sad when you guys don't answer them. So I'm going to read the ones from the Google form, and then we might just have to have a Google and be like, queer song lyrics that are your favourite. So we've got the iconic, no matter gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. I'm going to end up singing all of these unless I don't know them. Okay, I don't know this next one. It says, shade never made anybody less gay. Next, I don't actually know quite a lot of these songs. Will you kiss me on the front porch? No, will you kiss me on the porch in front of all your stupid friends? Maybe it's a gay song. Maybe it's sung by a girl. I don't know. Let's see the rest of them. We're a crooked love in a straight line down. I'm not getting the gay vibes from some of these, but that's okay. Maybe it's because I don't know the songs. Let me scroll, see the rest of your answers, and then maybe we'll just have a little Google and see what Google comes up with. Okay, this next one is iconic. Don't be scared to embrace the femme, whether you're he, she, or them. Taylor, what's that song from? Bing, bang, bong, sing, sang, song, ding, dang, dong. I will tell them a story. So, I'm not sure if I've told this on the podcast before. Anyway, if I have, it's a funny story, you'll enjoy it. So basically, me and Taylor were away at a pageant, and I had to set an alarm for 5 a.m. in the morning to get my makeup done.
You don't need to say 5 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, just 5 a.m. in the morning. And for some strange reason, my alarm is always a very, like, it goes. I don't like anything too crazy to wake me up. For some strange reason, my 5 o'clock alarm was set for bing bang bong. So I totally didn't realise this was a thing. So 5 o'clock in the morning, we are both woken up, bing bang bong, like right in our ears. And Taylor was obviously fuming because she didn't need to be up. I did. And then I kept locking myself out of the hotel room because I kept going out and in to come and get things. So I kept having to wake Taylor up, knock on the door for her to come and get me. But yeah, love Bing Bang Bong. Love that line by Bimini. I just think Bimini's such an icon. Okay, we've got a couple more that I'm turning to Google. I don't want you like a best friend. Or maybe that was the last one. Let me just check. Okay, that was the last one. So I'm going to have a little Google, see what we can find. Thank you to those of you who did send in your lyrics. Your lyrics? Yeah, that's right. Send in your lyrics. If you want to answer next week's question of the week, come over to my TikTok, Juliet Francis T. It will be linked in the description, so you can send me your questions, your answers. And if you don't want to put your answer publicly, you can pop it on the Google form, and then I will read them out. I'm just going to have a quick Google, and then let's see some of Google's favourite queer song lyrics. You know what? There's quite a lot of Taylor Swift coming up. One of these, where we were jet set, Bonnie and Clyde, until I switched to the other side. Is that it? Someone just said, maybe that's not Taylor, but there's loads of things saying Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. It's not really giving me that much Google. Oh, someone said the whole of Hot to Go. I could be the one for your new addiction. To be fair, like, all Chapel Roan songs pretty much, all Renee Rapp songs pretty much, Billie Eilish songs. I could eat that girl for lunch. Oh my god, can we just talk about Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish's song? What a banger! I could listen to that on repeat. Well, I do listen to it on repeat. It's absolutely incredible. I feel like that is the song to end on. I never get it right. I wanna bite it, lick it, split it, flip it, pull up to. No, incorrect. Taylor's looking at me like that's so wrong. Let's get up the lyrics and I'll rap it for you. Okay, we got it. Are you all ready for my rap? I wanna try it, bite it, lick it, spit it, put it to the side and get all up in it, kiss it, ride it, can I fade it? Turtle like boys, but she knows I'd hit it. Charlie, call me with you if. Oh no, I messed it up. Charlie, call me if you're with it. Oh, what a song! What a song! Anyway, thanks to those who answered the question of the week. Let's get into some dilemmas. So this one, I'm going to give a trigger warning for etymophobes. Is that the right way to anyone with etymophobia? Am I saying that right? Emetophobia. There we go. Emetophobia. If you have that, you might not like the story. So here we go. This may be a bit TMI, so sorry in advance. So basically, I met this guy a few years ago and we've been together ever since. We've made out but never fully done the deed, and I always wanted to wait until it felt right. Then on our 3-year anniversary, I decided I would finally do it with him. However, when he first put it in, my body had a reaction and I vomited. It was very weird, but we just assumed it was because it was my first time. But since then, we've tried again, and every single time, whether he puts it, I love that it's referred to as it in, or his fingers, I feel sick. I wouldn't have thought this had anything to do with him, but before I met him, I did experiment with a girl, and she used her fingers, except I didn't have that reaction. In fact, it was the best thing I've ever experienced. Does this mean I only like being sexual with girls? I have so many questions and I really don't want to ruin our relationship. What should I do? So, initially, I would say maybe you need to go to the doctors, just to explain to them what's happening, because it could be, I don't know what, I'm a medical professional by no means or stretch, but it could be worth just speaking to them about it and getting like a professional's opinion, because it doesn't. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say like their body, like your body can like physically reject things, but potentially it might be worth just getting like a medical professional's advice, but from like a friend level, because we're besties now because you sent in a dilemma, so that automatically means we're besties. I think obviously you say like you don't want to ruin the relationship, you're obviously very happy with this person, but for some people being intimate is a really key part of the relationship, and that's something that's like a, what's the word I'm trying to say, it's like a make or break part of the relationship. But if you are really happy with this boy and being intimate in that way together isn't something that you both need, then you might be able to get past this and still have a really great relationship. Or potentially it might be that you're just not meant to be together. Obviously you said like you've experimented with a girl and it was the best thing you've ever experienced, so maybe maybe you need to try it with a girl again, or with I feel like with any girl would maybe do the job, or this same girl in particular, if you are still in contact with each other, or even try with another boy and just see if it's a one person thing or if it's a everyone person thing, because I understand for you as well, like it's probably quite like embarrassing and you feel like really awkward when it happens, because it probably makes your boyfriend feel like he's probably thinking like, what am I doing wrong? So maybe getting that medical professional's advice might help him also feel like, if you can say, okay, this is why it's happening, he's not going to feel like upset and being like, okay, so I am not the problem, that there is like an actual problem, it's not just him and your body just repulses him. But yeah, maybe I think you need to decide whether being intimate together is something that you need in the relationship, and if it is, potentially he's just not the person for you, and your body is physically trying to tell you that. And maybe then you try it with another boy, try it with another girl, and see how that works out, and then go from there. If it happens with another boy, then I'd say definitely seek a medical professional's advice. If it doesn't happen, then maybe it was just something with that boy in particular. And then if it doesn't happen with another girl, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gay, but maybe, you know, obviously you might be bisexual because you've tried it with this girl. Obviously you said it was like you were experimenting, but chances are you could be bisexual or even a lesbian, and that's why your body is quite literally rejecting him. I'm sorry, I don't feel like I have like the best advice. I feel like definitely I would look at seeking some sort of medical advice, even if you do like an e-consult, like fill it out online, or like speak to someone over like the phone or something, so you don't have to go in. Because I understand, again, like you probably do feel a bit like embarrassed about this, which there is no need to, because it is a natural thing. I've heard it happen to other people before, but I'm here for you. Let me know what the doctors say if you decide to go to them. Let me know if you know, decide to move on and try with other people. Let me know how that goes for you. But I'm sending you lots of love, and I really hope that you are able to, sort this out one way or another. Lots of love, and thank you for trusting me with your dilemma. Okay, next one is a little bit more light-hearted, and we've got kind of a question. So it says, I need some good comebacks slash funny things to say to me when men find out that I'm a lesbian and ask things like, can I watch, or say, can I change you, the usual. But I don't want to swear on this podcast, so well, boop, because just telling them to F off isn't very entertaining. So any funny comebacks you have to share would be great. So I've been very lucky in my, I know this in my career, in my lesbian career, in my time as a lesbian, this has only happened to me like once or twice where I've had like men say things. And I think it's because me and Taylor, we don't go out like clubbing or to like nightlife scenes very often. I remember one time it was at my, I think I've spoke about this on the pod before, but it's all right. At my after my prom, not my graduation, after my prom, we all went out clubbing, and this boy was like chatting, and he was like, trying to get it on, and I was like, oh, like I'm a lesbian, that's my girlfriend over there. And he was like, I can change you. And I was just like, ew, like, no, thank you. I was like, keep your peen as far away from me as humanly possible. I'm not a very funny person, so I don't really know how I would make a joke. You know what? Maybe we'll make this one of the questions of the week. I'm going to write that down in my little question of the week notes thing. What's the word? Like, just in my notes. If anyone else wants to suggest a question of the week, by the way, feel free to do so. I'd love to hear your guys's like suggestions of what you want to sort of hear on the podcast. Yeah, funny things to say. I don't know what I would say. I mean, I think the best thing you can do is I would just like grab Taylor and just like kiss her right in front of them and be like, there's no change in this. But then I feel like if they're asking, can I watch, that's probably not the best thing to do, because then you're literally giving them what they want to see. But I think, you've just got to just embrace it and just be like, that is disgusting. You're not going to change. Be like, would you ask that to a straight friend of yours? No, you wouldn't. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to come to you guys on this one. So maybe next week this will be the question of the week, and you guys can come with your humour and your witty responses, because I'm not like, I think I've spoke about this again before. You're going to be like, ugh, bored. But I find it like quite awkward sometimes in situations to like say, I'm lesbian, I'm gay, because you're never quite sure how people are going to react. So I feel like maybe I've avoided like people saying stuff like this to me, because I've just kind of like always like brush over the topic of like having a girlfriend. Like, people will go, have you got a boyfriend? And I'll go, no. And they'll go, oh, why not? And I'll go, I don't want one. And that's like the end of the conversation. So yeah, maybe next week that will be the question of the week, and then we can get you some funny and witty responses, because yeah, I'm not very funny or witty. I'd probably either just cry, run away, or kiss Taylor in front of them. Okay, we're gonna finish on this last one here, and again, it's another little question. So it says, what is your opinion on trans people, specifically trans women, entering and using female spaces, e.g. toilets, changing rooms? Do you think there should be a certain point in their transition? Do you think they should be at a certain point in their transition, or can just state that they are a woman and immediately enter these spaces? P.S. I love your podcast. Thanks. I love you. So this is like, I feel like it's a very relevant topic. Obviously, we've just come off the back of the Olympics with everything going on with Amani, the Algerian boxer who was assigned woman at birth, has lived her life as a woman, and people are going, no, she's a man. and all of that debacle. So I stand by the fact that a trans woman is a woman, no questions asked. A trans woman is a woman. I do understand from people's perspectives, like any man could say I'm trans and go into the female changing room. I think that is where the line has to be drawn. But then again, who are we to question them if they're, at the start of their transition and they're, actively going through the transitional process? Who are we to stop and judge them? Because it's so hard for people, and I think a lot of people who are trans, they maybe take a while to transition or to make the decision to start the transition because they're worried about what people might think and what people might say. So maybe they try and present as masculine as possible when they're around like family or friends, so they don't like end up having to have these awkward conversations with family and friends. But yeah, I feel like I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I do not want to offend anybody. But like I said, I stand by the fact that a trans woman is a woman and they should be able to do and go wherever they please and live their life without the fear of somebody. It's the same with non-binary people. Like, if they want to, I think especially non-binary women who look a little bit more masculine. I'm thinking of Alaire Thomas. Is it Alaire Thomas? Is it Thomas? I'm sure you all know the TikTok that I'm on about because, hi, how are you? Obviously they are non-binary and they dress a little bit more masculine presenting. They have a shaved head and things like that, and they've specifically made TikToks about like going into like female bathrooms and getting looks and things like that. And it's like, who are we to judge? And I understand when children and younger people are brought into question, you fear for their safety and think, well, what if a man just walked into the girls' bathroom posing to be trans or non-binary? There is a line, and I don't know how to sort of filter out the bad people from the genuine trans and non-binary people. I don't know how that could work. However, I don't think trans people should be banned from using things like public toilets and changing rooms. I mean, there isn't really public changing rooms in the world, is there? I guess at the swimming pool, but then you have like your own little place to go in anyway. I guess it's more toilets. So yeah, I feel like my answers haven't been great today. I'm kind of like, I'm not sure on any of them, but these have all been quite like, not the second one wasn't difficult, but the first one was quite difficult, and this one's quite a difficult topic. I just don't want to, say the wrong thing and offend anybody. And anyone's like, well, you've said this and now you're a bad person, because I'm not a bad person and I want the best for everybody. And I have lots of trans friends who I love dearly, and they are just as worthy of doing all these things that as we, what are we? Are we cisgender? I think. Yeah, they shouldn't be banned from going any places or doing any sport or anything like that just because they were born in the wrong body and they've decided to transition or become non-binary. So yeah, I'm standing by the fact that a trans woman is a woman, a trans man is a man, a non-binary person is more than valid to be non-binary. They do not have to pick or choose one gender. There is not just two genders, and there hasn't been for a long time. People seem to think it's like quite a new thing, but it's not. Like, non-binary people and trans people have been around for such a long time. So protect your trans friends, be a trans and non-binary ally, because I love you and there's so many people out there that love you too. So don't feel like you can't go and use the women's or the men's bathroom, because you absolutely can. And if I ever see anyone like saying something, like, I would be that person to step in and be like, who do you think you are? Like, back off, let them go for a wee in peace. So as we were talking about queer song lyrics before, it's only right that our queer icon of the week is a singer, and I think who better to go with than Lady Gaga herself. So here is 8 times Lady Gaga has earned her queer icon title. This is from Billboard.com. This isn't my thoughts or feelings. This is what Billboard.com is telling me. So the first time was when Lady Gaga came out as bisexual, explaining that her jam, Poker Face, was about another woman. And she quoted, "It's not a lie that I'm bisexual and I like women. and anyone that wants to twist this into, in quotes, she says she's bisexual for marketing, that is an effing lie. This is who I am, and I've always been. Go Queen. The second time was she founded the Born This Way Foundation in 2011, and this foundation has helped thousands of LGBTQ plus children and teens. It was all about anti-bullying and to help end bullying of LGBTQ plus youth. Let's go Lady Gaga. Since 2002, the Ali Forney Centre in New York has served more than 14,000 at-risk LGBTQ plus youth a year. In 2016, Lady Gaga paid the centre a visit, bringing gifts, guiding meditation, and opening up about her struggles. I just love Lady Gaga. I think she's epic. Another one is a bit political. She says she's never one to shy away from politics. Many expected Gaga to use her Super Bowl halftime show as a platform to further voice her objections to President Donald Trump. Before the show, Gaga stated she would not politicise her performance. The only statements that I'll be making during the halftime show are the ones I've been consistently making throughout my career. Deep breath. I believe in a passion for inclusion. I believe in the spirit of equality, and the spirit of this country is one of love and compassion and kindness. My performance will uphold these philosophies. While she never mentioned the president, her passion for equality was still made clear when she sang LGBTQ anthem Born This Way for 11.75 million viewers. Not only that, but the choice to perform Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land, a socialist sing-along, has been interpreted as has been interpreted as a subtle message to the current administration. Touchdown, indeed. Oh my god, how have I not this? Have I seen this before? I did not know Lady Gaga was on Drag Race. What the heck? So she was on Drag Race. I mean, if that's not a queer icon thing to do, then what is? Oh, this one's a bit gross. She wore meat. Lady Gaga poses in the press room at 2010 MTV Video Music Awards at the Nokia Theatre wearing meat. She created a safe space. During her massively successful Born This Way ball, Gaga wanted to make sure everyone felt the love. To ensure this, she opened the Born Brave bus as a space for little monsters to unite pre-show and discuss things like mental health and bullying. She is the soundtrack at any and every gay club. Lady Gaga performs on stage, I think this is talking about the picture, at her art rave, the Art Pop Ball at Console Energy Centre on May 8th, 2014 in Pittsburgh. I think that was the last one. I mean, she is a queer icon indeed. We love Lady Gaga. You're not Lady Gaga. No matter gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby. I was born to survive. Na 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 na. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Well, everyone, I'm going to end the podcast there. I hope you enjoyed my singing. I hope you enjoyed me trying to speak. If you sent in a dilemma or a question, thank you so much. Next week, we will have our question of the week about good, funny comebacks. And please let me know about if you speak to the medical professional. And just a reminder that trans women are indeed women. Thank you all so much for listening. And I will speak to you all next week for the next episode. Bye!